A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. Hey everybody, thank you for listening to another edition of For Light and Dice. This episode represents the beginning of what I call our epilogue session. The previous session lasted a lot longer than I was expecting, and I was kind of hoping to have everything wrapped up by then, but there was plenty to kind of feel from, you could say. It was pretty tragic, and we were all pretty traumatized because Star Wars. Anyway, this session is the beginning of our epilogue session, and we start off just shooting the shit a little bit, and yeah, listen for more. Cool. That actually sounded like it was on time, which is going to make my editing a lot easier.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Amazing.
We're good at this. We're professionals.
We're professional podcasters now. Welcome.
I hear that little imitation of me that you're doing there, Chris.
That's just my generic.
How
That's my generic
narcissistic
nerd
do you think
voice.
it's about you?
It's usually about him.
It's usually
so-
about me. When he does that voice, it's usually me.
Hi everyone, welcome back to For Light and Dice.
Yeah, there we go. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming back to For Light and Dice. Y'all, this episode is a very special episode because this is our epilogue episode as we wrap up season 1. Before we jump into the thick of things, thank you all so much for listening to this show and supporting us. I never know how these things go, and the fact that we have so many hardcore listeners that are giving us feedback all the time, which leads me to a quick topic before we get into the actual game. We have a listener named Spacer Girl 94 wanted me to ask this question to you all. Would it be appropriate for there to be AO3 fanfic for your characters?
Yes!
Because I have some
Yes!
ideas.
Yes!
Yes.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
I'd love
yes.
to read any fanfic any listeners make. I want to see how they portray our characters.
Oh my god, I want an AO3
Please.
too. Send it to me.
Please. Not only can you write fanfic, but because legally we are already a fan work, you can send it to us. We're allowed to read it.
Oh.
So is this...
Hell yeah.
How many layers deep into the meta
So
are
many.
we?
Don't think about it.
Okay.
Don't think about it.
I'm not saying that someone should write Lysander and Marcion fanfic, but I'm also not saying that, so...
I respect the attempt.
Yeah, I respect the attempt. Well, okay, so there you have it. We are pro fanfic here at this podcast, and just a quick reminder: we are also E for explicit, so that question is not out of bounds for this show. So
I
with
feel
that said,
like that also goes hand in hand with the Lysander and Marcion row, but I felt like it was important to mention that too at that point.
Hey, maybe I should put a new fanfic channel on the Discord.
oh my,
Oh, that's a lovely point. We do have a Discord
Yeah.
that is available to everyone that you can join if you're enjoying the show, if you want to live react with other listeners, ask questions of the cast and crew, and generally be around a bunch of really cool people. That Discord is available in the show notes.
Also, thank
Yeah.
you all for listening. We love you.
yeah. So speaking of which, I had a really funny reaction with a friend of the show, Stephanie, who has played Lorna D on the show. She had to move, and so she was way behind on getting caught up to episodes. So she's just starting to get caught up, and she sent me a message. Because bear in mind, I have run many a tabletop games for her, so she knows my style very well. She says, "Christopher, if you do anything to these characters, I'm going to fucking kill you." And I had to, yeah.
Womp.
So, yeah. Anyway, so
Nothing bad happens.
nothing
Ever in
bad
the High
happens. It's the High
Republic?
Republic. Nothing bad happens in the High
Technically,
Republic.
also, that wasn't your fault. That was just
That's Colton's
Bad
dice's
luck.
fault.
It was a cavalcade of bad luck, and no one is to blame
What the
except
listeners
for Rulfess.
what the
Yes.
listeners
So
don't
true.
see is we have a private chat and we were all just upset afterwards.
They were. I was upset too, actually, to be honest with you. But we are going to have an episode in the future where we'll talk at a character how we feel about the story and whatnot. That's just a taste of things to come. Yeah. So, are we ready, y'all? You ready to?
We
Yeah.
are
rock
ready
this?
to rejoin the
Yes,
characters
let's
who are just
do
as upset
this.
as we are.
We're ready for some emotional trauma. Well, look, before we go to Naboo and we deal with the aftermath of the first true battle of Naboo, I am prompted at this point to just kind of tell the listener, character death is a thing that unfortunately can happen in a tabletop role-playing game. It is the dice sometimes take control of the narrative a little bit, and you kind of abide by that. So, no, I don't aim to kill characters, and we were as a group collectively legitimately upset with one end dying, but with death comes new life as well. And so Colton is still here, obviously, and they've been talking about different ideas for characters. So very excited about introing them this episode. But also, just a quick reminder, dear listener, this is the wrap up of season 1. So we'll have a little bit of a time jump after this episode, or after this session, rather. We'll probably have several episodes coming out of the session. But I'm very much looking forward to the future. I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. So, are we ready? Yes, we're ready. Okay, cool. So not far from Naboo, actually, there is a place called Alessa Major, which is actually a kind of a resort / gambling planet. It is a gloriously beautiful sight to behold to the outsider. If they were to fly in, they would see an amazing and impressive collection of elaborate buildings with lights, ornate designs, each one designed to entice a tourist or somebody that's on extended vacation, or perhaps on dubious business, to go visit and go gambling. And it is in one of these gambling halls, a very important game of sabacc is being played. If you don't know what sabacc is, listener, I would definitely encourage you to go to Wikipedia and read about it. Though it's been featured in different content all throughout the years, but it is essentially a card game. It is essentially the galaxy's version of poker. And so this sabacc game is particularly high stakes, and because it is high stakes, on this massive circular table, there's piles of credits, jewels, watches, even ornate blasters just thrown up on top of the table in a pile. And this sabacc game has been going for hours and hours and has garnered the attention of the entire hall. It's placed in the center of this massive facility where there's all kinds of different gambling tables set up everywhere. But there's an audience of people just watching this game, gathered around like a crowd. You can't help but feel, if you're sitting at this table, that you're kind of pinned in just by the audience. The game started off with 12 people, but it is now down to 3 people. At this table, there is a female Polowick who is pink and black colored. She has called herself Gunlinda and has garnered most of the credits at this table thus far. Nearby is an Ithorian who is probably one of the thickest and most muscular Ithorians anyone's ever seen. So much so that his shoulders are gigantic and it kind of squeezes up against his translator box on the left side of his neck. Both are focused and are studying each other and the third person at this table. Colton, would you like to describe what your character looks like, please?
Yeah, certainly. So Koreal Vavana is a Quirmian. So he has gray skin, a really long neck, and 4 arms. 2 of which, the top 2, have his olfactory senses, apparently. Learned that today. So, fun fact for you all. He wears these sort of black robes that have sort of many layers to them. A lot of hidden pockets and such, as any gambler should have. And in his top pair of hands, he is holding some cards, presumably.
Most excellent. Now, can you make a sleight of hand roll to see how well you're doing at the moment with these two other players?
Certainly.
It's our first gambling roll, y'all. I can't believe I haven't gotten a chance to use this table yet.
Are all rolls not gambles?
True.
Could I sell you on insight as opposed to sleight of hand? Like I'm trying to get a read on my opponents?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, then that is a 17.
All right. So you're doing okay. The Palowick that's sitting at the table is definitely exuding a certain level of confidence. You're pretty sure she has an excellent hand. The Ithorian, on the other hand, looks extremely nervous, and you actually happen to notice underneath his wrist, hidden within the sleeve, is an extra sabacc card.
Interesting. Okay. I'm assuming this is one of those places where the only rule is to not get caught, not so much, cheating's fine as long as you're quiet about it.
Yeah, if you get caught, it's bad. You were not checked for weapons at the door of this place, by the way. It's safe to assume that everyone around you and at the table probably are armed.
Okay. I'm gonna play it safe. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm not gonna do anything big. I'm not gonna go all in, at least for the moment. So, playing it safe. Stay in the course.
The Palowick, she smiles and throws down an extra 500 credits onto the table, and she looks at the two of you, daring you to meet her bet. And then she says to the both of you, "What's the matter, boys? Afraid of me?"
Not particularly. I mean, it's. I mean, no, I'm not. 500 credits.
The Ithorian says, "I will meet your bet as well." And he throws down an extra 500 credits. And then he says, "And I will raise you another 500. And he throws down even more credits on the table. And the Palowick just says, "That's too rich for my blood." And she puts her cards down on the table.
Do I get the sense that he's like itching to use that hidden card for this?
Absolutely. You can kind of just tell by the way he's kind of looking around, looking at you, moving his right arm where the card is a little bit.
Okay. The next time that his hand goes under the table, I'm going to have my second set of arms use the force power, force disarm, to grab that card out of his sleeve.
Do I have to make a saving throw or anything like that? Or?
Let me read the spell. You select a weapon or object being worn or carried by a large or smaller creature within range. The creature must make a strength or dexterity saving throw. The creature chooses the ability to use. If the item is being carried, this save is made with advantage. On a failed save, the item is pulled directly to you. If you have a free hand, you catch the weapon. Otherwise, it lands at your feet.
Okay, so I have to make a save then. All right, hold up.
Yes, and it should be 13 save DC.
So he looks down, and you don't feel that the card reached you, but he looks down all the same and looks very confused. Can you make a percentile roll, Colton?
Yeah.
It's a
2d10,
D100
yeah.
for listeners. We roll percentile when there is something completely random that can happen. And I have a chart for that.
That's either a 79 or a 97. Whatever's better, hopefully.
Yeah. So the card slides out from under the table, and everybody in the crowd just looks down and sees it. The Palowick, she stands up on her chair and like looms over to see it, and she looks horrified. What the cripe is this? She says. And the Ithorian immediately stands up and says, "It wasn't me. It was them." And and he just points out to somebody out in the crowd.
Well, I mean, if it's someone out in the crowd, we don't need to worry about it. Anyway, I'll match your bet. Are you ready to show cards? Yeah?
The Palowick says, "Oh, I don't think so. I don't play with cheaters." And you're not sure where she grabs it, but she pulls out a very large blaster and is pointing it over at the Ithorian.
Alright, let's everyone calm down. We don't need to do that specifically. Would be bad. So why don't I just walk away with this, and you don't have to play anymore, and we are good to go, yeah?
Can you make a performance roll?
Yeah.
Or persuasion, actually?
They are both the same.
The same.
Ooh! That's a 5. 2 plus 3.
Yeah, so the Ithorian gets up as well and very quickly unholsters his gun and points it back at the Palowick and pulls out another gun and points it at you. And suddenly the tension in the room is reaching a fevered pitch. You can tell just by the sounds that are starting to kind of play off beyond the lights of the table that other people are probably grabbing their weapons.
Well, I didn't want to do this. You have all forced my hand. And from one of my robes, I'm going to pull out a lightsaber hilt. I don't want to activate this, so why don't we all just put our weapons down and get going? Yes? Yeah,
The Ithorian looks surprised at you and just says, "Wait a minute, Jedi, do not gamble."
I mean, yes, correct. Probably. Ish. Not really. But, again, happy to use this. It's not, no problem. You know.
Can you make an intimidation roll?
Yeah, certainly.
I'll give you advantage.
Cool. Oh, that's much better. That is a 20, dirty 20.
Yeah, the Palowick says, "I don't want any of this. I'm gonna go." And she grabs a few credits off the pile, just walks away. And the Ithorian shakes his hands and puts his guns away slowly as well. And you can feel the tension in the room starting to decrease.
Well, I'm glad we have solved that. But still, I do want to do this final hand. I'm interested to see what we have.
All right, make a sleight of hand roll. It's just you and the Ithorian at this point.
Okay. That is a 10.
You narrowly get a better hand than the Ithorian, and the crowd cheers and claps as you get all the winnings on the table.
Well, it was a pleasure. I'm not sure I caught your name, but it was a pleasure. Here's your card back, and I'll hand the card that I forced.
The Ithorian just says to you, "Eat voodoo, Jedi."
No. So, yeah. I give him 4 finger guns.
Perfection.
Amazing. Yeah, so the crowd disperses as people return back to their tables. A droid comes up to you with a big sack that you can put your stuff in.
I put the things in the big sack.
Cool.
Which is
Then
a
you're-
sentence I've just said.
Yes, it is.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
And then your data pad on your belt vibrates.
Yeah, I'll grab it. I'll take a look at it.
You have received a message.
I will look at the message.
It's whatever you wrote to yourself.
Yeah, it's, just, please come to coordinates.
Okay.
Signed 1N.
All right.
Oh, well, that's me off. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Goodbye. I have to go.
Awesome. And yeah, you make your way to your ship, and Naboo is not far. So
That it isn't.
awesome. Meanwhile,
Hold on, Colton, just a reminder, what was the name of your character?
Koreal Vavana. And I'll type it out in,
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was really good.
I think I'm in romantic love with this character.
Big fan, big fan.
Big fan over here.
Four
I
thumbs
was
up.
feeling very Hondo Naga. I can't wait for Hondo Ezra, but Koreal and Lysander.
But Hondo has a lightsaber and the Force.
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
like, half of the character was just like, what if Hondo could use the Force? And then
I'm very excited to
love
see
it.
where this
Amazing.
goes. Back to Naboo.
So back to Naboo. All of you are back in the Squonk. You have to fly very low and very slow due to the giant hole on the ship. 1 and 2 are being very quiet, which is very unlike them. And Gonk just says Gonk. Several of you are still hurt. When you were leaving the battlefield, so to speak, Pola insisted that you all get some rest, and the security force was cleaning up the mess that was made after the battle. There were old antique battle droids just destroyed, and their shrapnel left all over the ground. The bodies of Rolthes's soldiers also left behind, and of course the damage of the tanks.
Wynn is very slowly piloting the Squonk back to Theed. They seem very intently focused on their task of not crashing the ship into the forest again.
Dawes is in mom mode. She is checking on everyone. So, probably, she definitely goes to Lysander first because he got stabbed horrifically. And I know Zero healed him, but I don't remember. It wasn't the full, right?
No, Lysander's still only like halfway.
So, she just goes over to Lysander. Where are you?
Well, last time Lysander was, chilling in the engine room talking to the Squonk, but now I imagine that he's just kind of sitting in their shared room on his bunk quietly.
Oh, okay. So she just comes up to the door and just kind of pauses, looking momentarily haunted, and then just swallows it down and just doesn't look at her own bunk and just goes over to Lysander. Hey, do you need to go to a hospital?
I'm okay for now.
Are you sure? Because we'll make Pola pay for it. This is the only time we'll ever get free healthcare.
Lysander kind of just glances at her and is like, I guess when we get back to the city, I'll see a medic, but I'm fine right now.
Okay, I'm gonna go tell Wynn to talk to Pola, and then we'll make sure that there's a medic waiting for you, okay? And I know it's kind of silly and arbitrary now, but she just goes over to her bunk and pauses, and then just takes something out from under it, and just comes over and hands Lysander a book. This was your gift from Yagdul.
And he hesitantly takes it Frick,
It's like
what side
a-
did he get stabbed in again? I forgot.
I don't know. Roll a dice, pick a side, pick a rib.
I feel like it was the left side. I could be remembering that wrong though. I'm just
He
gonna
got
say
stabbed
left.
in the body somewhere.
Yeah, he got stabbed somewhere. Um, so
But the
he
book
does
is like,
struggle to grab that too.
oh, she just like helps him with it. It's just a book about like how to breathe and meditate like Jedi, like one of those kind of like books.
And he is very quiet at the mention of Jedi Wars. Usually he seems like excited and he's just like, I'll look at it later then.
All right, call if you need anything.
And he just lies down on his bunk and turns away from Gauze and like pulls out the kyber crystal and is just kind of staring at it. So I don't know if Gauze sees his little kyber crystal now.
She doesn't know what a kyber crystal is, so she's like, "Oh,
Just
pretty rock."
sparkly rock, pretty rock.
Whatever. So she then goes out and goes, unless she passes Zero on the way, she's going up to the cockpit.
Zero is in the cargo hold, basically just trying to keep things from falling out of the hole.
Okay.
Just kind of awkwardly, like, holding stuff against the wall, just doing their best to keep what little supplies is left in there from falling out.
Okay. She'll come back to Zero then. So she just hurries up to the cockpit to Wen. Hey,
How is everybody?
we need to call Pola and tell them to have a medic waiting for Lysander.
Okay. And Win will lean down because everybody words. Win will kind of lean down and start tapping things because the thing is in basic now. So Gauze can see when typing out something to the effect of injured crew, please have medic on standby. They're going to do it in a text mode and they're going to transmit it to Pola and to the Naboo security force.
Add that we're also charging her a fee.
Wade hesitates and then adds
100,000 for terrorist.
Wynn just hits the button to send. We'll deal with that later. I think we can get more money out of them.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of dealing with things, and Wynn sets autopilot for a minute and turns around in their chair and looks at Gauze and says, so is there a body I should know about still on the ship?
No, we had a great time on Yagdul.
Okay, because if there is a body,
There's no body.
if there is,
When?
then now would be a good time to get rid of it in the forest. Maybe out the hole.
No, there's no body.
Okay. And this
Alright.
conversation never happened.
Are you okay?
When leans back against the chair, I spent a lot of my time making sure nothing happens to the crews that I'm a part of. And when it does, despite constantly thinking about it and worrying that it might be the case and doing my best to ensure that it doesn't happen, even going so far as to pull a blaster on my captain and strand him on a space station for weeks at a
Bitchin'.
time. When it does happen, it is as bad as I assumed it would be. But that is something I have to accept and keep going. If I stop now, literally now, the ship falls into the forest. And
Why the
what
hell are
is-
you talking to me? Drive the fucking ship.
It's a metaphor-ish.
Oh.
There's an autopilot. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
If I were to get locked up in my own feelings about losing one in right now, then I would be hanging the rest of you out to dry. And I'm not prepared to do that. I will grieve one in my own way and at the right time, but for me, I have to get us to a point where we can healthily do that. And that's...
So I'm going to cut you
Resolving
off
this.
there. When we land, I was planning on getting drunk and on top of the 1 in 2,000 and crying. Afterwards, you want to come join me because I need to ask you something and I need to talk to you, but I'm taking care of the crew right now. So
Absolutely, I would love to get drunk. Don't cry,
I'm
but
gonna
I will
cry.
get drunk.
Awesome, because there is something I want to brief with you. But we're not going to handle that right now because I'm going to go check on Zero and the others. And also tell Pola that we're charging our fee because we're there. That's who we are now. The crew of the Squonk. We'll take out your terrorists for you.
We'll talk with her about what we can get out of this. Speaking of things, I don't know if the plan is still to go after what the plan is at this point. Go to Jakku. Well, I guess we'll figure it out.
We have to catch up. There's a whole Nihil thing. We'll catch you up. We'll do that while we're drunk.
Was the Nihil thing?
No.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm gonna go check on Zero. You and I will talk later, and then we'll get drunk. I bought a lot of great liquor for you and Lysander, and I bought a box of wine for me.
I support whatever direction this is going in. And when flashes the thumbs up, spins around at the chair and says, okay, I'm just going to take this piloting back now.
Hey. I'm
When
sorry
looks
about your
back at
I'm sorry about your temple. I'm really sorry.
There'll be others.
I know.
Could have done a whole dissertation on it, but
All right.
you know, I'll grieve in my own way, in my own appropriate time. When
There's
says
a
the
lot of liquor.
collective-
There's a lot of liquor. We got this tonight, hun. It'll be fine. Let's go. Okay.
And
And
without, when resumes piloting the ship back to Theed.
she's just walking back out. 1, 2, gonk with me. Let's go.
Okay.
Both 1 and 2 say.
Just comes at the cargo hold. 0.
Watch out for the hole!
I see that.
Okay, yeah.
Ooh, I like holes.
Says
Yeah,
1.
no. Hey, stay back, buddy. Yeah. And Zero just has like the toolbox behind their back, pressed against the wall, holding like a screwdriver and a plasma torch in each hand, and like just trying to keep things against the wall from falling out.
Do you need us to grab some of that for you?
Well, so how big is the hole? Like, how much walking space is there, actually?
I was imagining it like the about the size of a single doorway.
Okay. All right.
Like a normal door or like a big door?
Yeah, like a normal door.
Okay.
Like
Normal
the
door,
door
all
behind.
So
a
enough
single
room
door
to
behind
walk
me.
around the hole?
I was imagining it was on the side of a wall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
So yeah,
just,
I think
sofa
Zero
flew
is like
out.
against the opposite wall, trying to keep things from
Yeah.
falling out that way.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense. I guess, if you could, I mean, I don't know. It depends on how long you want to stand back here. I don't know. Hey, Win, how long until we land?
How long until we land, Chris?
Only a couple minutes.
Only a couple of minutes. I'm looking at the city right now.
Zero,
We're
let it
not
go.
far away.
Zero, let it go. The stuff's not worth you. Come here now.
I mean, I'm fine.
Come here.
Okay. Yeah. And Zero will just like let it go, set the tools down on top of the toolbox.
Pola's gonna buy us more. Come on.
And walk over to Gaz, but stand in the doorway and not leave the cargo hold yet.
Are you okay?
I don't know. I was just trying to like keep stuff from falling out of the hole there, but there's like feelings that I don't entirely understand. I think I need to stay back here for a while. So like when we land, I'm gonna hang out in that corner where y'all like found me, where I woke up, and when I was a little pile of junk, or a large pile of junk, I suppose. But yeah, I need to figure this out.
Can I see your hand?
Which one?
Any of them.
Well, I've only got the two, but here they both are.
And because she has like little pouches, and she just opens one of the pouches and just takes out like a little Band-Aid, and it's purple with blue and pink cloth cat heads on it. Sure. And she's just opening it up. Let me see your finger.
Okay.
And she just goes, and she's just putting it on Zero's finger. So when I was little, my dad, whenever I was scared and confused or sad, he would always put a Band-Aid on my finger. And one day, when I was old enough, and I finally asked Dad, my finger's not hurt. Why do you keep putting a Band-Aid on it? And he said that it was to remind me that people care about me. And even if it's not a physical wound, you're still hurting. And this is just a reminder that you're not alone. The worst thing you can do, Zero, is be alone and confused and sad. So just take any time you need, but keep this on and just know that we're thinking about you too. And it's okay to be scared and confused. And you were there when I needed you. Don't tell anybody I killed somebody.
I won't. Yeah, no, the secret's safe with me. Gosh, okay, yeah. While I'm figuring out how to feel and what I'm feeling and what is good and right and normal, I will look down at this bandage and remember that I'm not alone. Yeah. I'll thank you. I will I'll just hang on to this toolbox until we land, and then you guys take care of all the businessy stuff.
We're gonna get drunk later. You can come hang out with us. I'll warm up some oil for you.
I don't know if that would work, but we can maybe give it a try. We'll see how I'm feeling.
All right.
I didn't know I'd have to consider how I was feeling, but here we are.
Welcome to the galaxy.
It's not the greatest.
No, but it's better with people.
So far.
All right, you do your thing. I'm gonna go take a break and get ready to charge the fuck out of Pola.
All right, you do that. Yeah.
One says,
Wait a minute, you killed somebody?
and two
No.
says,
Yeah, it was totally brutal. It was amazing.
Nothing happened. Let's go.
Oh, hey, guys! 1, 2, real quick before you leave. Can you do me a huge favor?
Wow.
Yeah, okay. Just delete the information that Gaz killed someone from your memory. Please?
Oh, she looks at Zero with his like these big eyes. Like she doesn't say it, but her face just says like, "Thank you so much."
We don't have control over our memory backups anymore.
Who does?
The Squonk.
God!
Squonk!
Okay. Well,
That's that's a problem for tomorrow. Let's go.
all right,
We're
well, can
landing.
you at least promise not to talk about it?
Sure.
Talk about
And
what?
actually not talk about it?
What are we talking about right now?
Exactly.
Perfect,
Good.
exactly. Thank you.
No, but really.
Yeah, Gaz will
Wynn's-
tell you.
Wynn's voice comes over the intercom to the ship, and they say, "We're pulling in for the landing now. I'm just waiting to see what hangar we're going to be in. Trying to get in the same one as the one in 2000, but I would go ahead and brace yourselves anyway for descent."
Pola does send a message back with instructions on where to land, and yeah, it can be near the one in 2000. There are also a group of medical droids hovering, waiting where the ship is going to land.
All right, so Wynn is going to bring the Squonk in for a landing.
Well, everybody, that's the end of this week's episode. We got a lot more content for you coming for our epilogue session, and also a few more surprises. Once again, thank y'all so much for listening to our show, going on this journey with us. It's super awesome and amazing. Thank you so much to Grushkov, who has allowed us to use their music. If you haven't checked out their music yet, they have written a lot of amazing original compositions inspired by Star Wars The High Republic, and they're even doing some different stuff. Like they just put out D&D inspired music, and I really enjoyed it. I've already used it with one of my tabletop games. It's really cool. Do recommend. 10 out of 10. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much. May the Force be with you, and 13 cycles and 9 hours until impact.